I'm Bevan Varland. I'm a chef, artist, and food for me represents laughter, enjoyment and family. Food should be creative, it should be full of heart, it should be punchy with flavour. I want to be able to link people back with their own food connection and help them become better cooks, better growers and enjoy their own food stories. I'm on a mission to show people how local, homegrown and sustainable food can be awesome.
G'day guys, welcome to Food to Eat. I'm Bev Varland. You know what, I've been really lucky in my life to be involved with food. Food is actually a really big driving force in everything I do, both in life, personally, and life and professionally. So I want to show you guys the secret to all types of food, and it's right in this little packet here. It is seeds. Because you know what, without the seeds of these amazing plants, we can't do what we do in life. We can't sustain life, and we can't cook professionally. This is actually the key of everything, and it's that simple. Some good dirt, some lovely onion seeds. I'm going to put this lot in this channel here, and literally, guys, this is as simple as food gets. This is food at its very core. Let's fill it in. You just want to tuck it in like that. Put it in a nice comfy pillow. Look at that, pat it down, pat it down, pat it down, pat it down. Pat it down, pat it down, pat it down, pat it down. We're going to let that sit. We're going to have the rain on it. We've got this amazing fertile soil. It's full of compost, it's full of fibre, it's got worms in it. This stuff here, in about 6 or 8 weeks, is going to spring up, come to life and allow us to use its amazing energy, creating some brilliant food. I'm going to nick down into the garden here and I'm going to grab some of this lovely wild rocket. Now, this rocket I actually planted last season. It's actually pretty wonderful because it's seeded and it's re-come up here in autumn. It's sweet and it's bitter at the same time. Perfect time to pick it.
There's nothing fresher, there's nothing better tasting than veggies and herbs coming straight from your garden. It really is quite amazing things. The reality is they're pretty cheap to produce. They're very easy to look after. You can get them pretty much anywhere. And it's a great way to be healthy and be creative at the same time. Food that you've grown means so much. I love to use little edible flowers, little viola, forage. But before you plant it, make sure that you can eat it, because that's the most important thing. There's nothing quite prettier than fresh flowers and herbs on your food cooked in your garden. Check that out. Yum.
Well guys, could not be a more idyllic setting than cooking in your own garden with coals, beautiful meat and stunning produce that's just coming straight from behind me in the garden. So it's a great day. In here, I've got some heat beads. They're really hot. They've got a huge heat on top of that. Now, last season, see that big tree back there? That's my big apple tree. Pruned him off, dried the wood. In here, I've kept some apple wood and it's moist. I'm going to put that on there because what I want to do is I want to create a smoke with that wood that's going to flavour our meat as we grill it. Okay, on she goes, a little bit here and there. Oh, that's hot, wow. I'm going to get my trusty grill straight on top like that. I just want to let that heat up a bit, get the grill hot before we put the meat on. Here's my awesome meat now. A lot of people will cook with an expensive cut. For the course of this exercise, I've actually chosen a second cut. So this is actually what we would classify as a gravy beef. You can see that beautiful sinew in there and all that fat line. That's actually going to give it flavour. And when we're cooking on a barbecue, which is generally speaking pretty low and slow, that's going to give great flavour. Okay, into there, I want a good splash of olive oil and a good crack of salt and pepper. Yeah, get it in there, all of it. We've got a good consistent heat. Let's get this baby on. And straight away, you can hear that slight little crackle. So here's how we're going to cook it. It's pretty special. I'm going to cook him uncovered for 3 minutes, put the lid on for 3 minutes, take the lid off, flip it over, and do the same process again. And that will be the most perfect steak you'll ever imagine. Now, earlier on, we got that lovely rocket from the garden just over there. We've got some cress from behind me, some nasturtium. I want to actually create a stunning little salad that's going to sit on top of our meat when we serve it. Okay. In this little bowl, I've got a native Aussie herb called cinnamon myrtle, which is great. All I want to do, bit of olive oil, lovely, half a lemon, squeeze him in. I just want to bring it all together. And that's it. And that there is a stunning little dressing. Okay, a little bit on our salad now. And we'll keep a little bit extra for the steak at the end. Okay, let's toss him around. Lovely. Oh yeah, look at that. Fresh rocket and cress straight from my garden, literally right behind me. I'm going to check that out. Oh, boom. So it's been on there for 3 minutes. Now we've got to cover him for 3 minutes, get all that lovely applewood smoke up into the meat. Okay, let's do it. Boom. Oh yeah. Whoa, look at that. You can see already that smoke is starting to colour in here, which is awesome. Okay. She's going to be hot. I'm going to use my big, beautiful knife. Let's get him over. Look at that juice there. He's stunning. Okay, down she goes. Look at that. That is a stunning piece of steak. Let's give him 3 minutes covered again. Time for the reveal. Our last 3 minutes underneath our little lid with all that smoke doing its awesomeness. Here we go. Whoa, yes. Look at that. You can already feel all that juice, natural juice is starting to come up here. We want to give it the last 3 minutes of its cooking before we take it off and let it rest. Put it down there. Oh yeah. Look at that. Now what we really have to do now is we need to let it rest for a good 10 minutes. Similar time to how long it was cooking. That's going to enable all those juices to settle down. Gives us a bit of a time to have a wander around the garden too. Now at this particular time, there's something I really love to do with my steak. And it's actually a thing that we like to call rehydration. Now a lot of that natural juice and oil is going to come out in its cooking. So a little dollop of butter, and I want to rub that all over the top, and that's going to give it a nice bit of juiciness back to it. Look at that. It rehydrates that meat, it makes it look fantastic, and also when you go to cut it later and eat it, it is just magnificent. Now meat's been sitting for 10 minutes. I'm going to flip it around like this. I want to show you this as I cut it. Oh yeah, look at that. It's stunning. Nice little bit of pinkness in there. You've got a nice smoke ring, and it's really, really, really juicy. Now this is my favourite bit, so I'm going to eat that, alright? I'm going to cut a little bit. Oh, that is unbelievable. Flavour from that applewood has come through. Salt and pepper. The butter just accentuates it. Let's get to this to the side, and let's dress it now. Get it on the plate, because I'm hungry. Let's get a plate now. I've got a really top-notch tomato relish here. Really, really top-notch, and you want it to be top-notch with a beautiful piece of steak like this. Let's put 2 bits like that, and 2 bits like that. Yeah, awesome. Let's give it a bit of a smear. Whoopah, whoopah, yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, let's get a big piece of steak. Let's put him here. Let's get our little bits just on the side like that, so we know how to cut him and how he looks. Awesome. Our little rocket and cress salad that we picked from the garden just before. Okay, here we go. Let's get him across here. Oh yeah, a nice salad. Look at that. Just on top, because we don't want to just be eating meat, we want a bit of health as well. Alright, there we go. Nice, freshly picked. Let's get that cress in there. Good colour. Lovely. A little bit of dressing that we kept earlier. Let's get that on. That's going to help hydrate that meat too. It's going to make it look even a bit awesomer. Is awesomer a word? I think it is now. Got some beautiful fuchsia, which is an edible flower. Let's put him here. Let's put him over here. Let's put that fuchsia there. I've got a couple little violas. On we go. A stunning beef cooked on coal over applewood. A stunning rocket salad straight from the garden. A bit of tomato ketchup. Oh, boom, get that in here. Hey, I'm checking in with you today. I'm introducing you guys to the superheroes of the food world. That's right, these little bees here are some of the most amazing little creatures you will ever know. As you can see there, they're taking all that beautiful nectar from our lavender. Now, what's amazing about these guys is that if the bees population within the world actually decimated like it currently is, we won't get honey. But not only that, a third of our plants and vegetables that we are currently relying on as a food source is going to diminish. And that's really scary. So these little fellas here, as they're busy working on their lavender, pulling their pollen, making their honey, etc, 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 what they're actually doing is creating a livable world. So we've got to look after the bees. We've got to get these little guys to work hard, and we've got to find out what's killing them. I want to show you that barbecue is not just about meat. Obviously here, I've got this beautiful ribeye we're going to cook. I'm going to also throw some beautiful veggies here. So we've got some pear, we've got some asparagus, we've got some pumpkin. I'm going to whack some blue cheese on. Something really different, but I want to show you guys that you can actually cook everything straight from that little barbecue. Let's get cracking. Beautiful rosemary straight from the garden. I like to keep nice fresh herbs everywhere around like this. All I want to do is I want to break that in little bits like this. I'm going to throw it straight onto the coals. All that smoke is going to bill out all around that meat. All right, let's whack it in there. I want to push it in there like that. Let's get the lid down. Let's give it a good 20 minutes before we flip it. Time to flip over our ribeye. Let's get in and have a look at it. Oh, look at that. She's crackling along nicely here. She's going to be a bit hot, but that's all right. Oh, look at that. You can see in there, she's really starting to firm up. And the ginger and the chili and the olive oil that was on it before is really starting to pull out. All the flavours are going bang. Let's get the lid back down and give it another 20 minutes. Oh, you can see that smoke from the rosemary that's come out here. And you can see how firm that has now become. Oh, ow! Look at that for a beautiful piece of ribeye. A little bit of salt. There. And I want to put a bit of pepper. Now it's time we pull the little foil off. There. Some beautiful coconut oil. You're probably thinking coconut oil, what a nut. But it's actually awesome, because what that does is rehydrates the meat, and it gives it a little bit of extra flavour. We want to let that sit for about 10 minutes. So I've been flicking around the veggies for about 10 minutes. Our meat is rested. We've got to get it ready to plate. So I'm going to flip him around like that. Okay, let's get a nice pear. Oh, she's hot, but that's cool. Bit of chunk of blue. Let's crumble a bit on top of the pear and the pumpkin. Right, here we go. I literally want to close the lid just for 2 minutes, just so that cheese goes bleh, and it goes all over the pumpkin and the pears. Let's open up our lid. I'm going to try to scoop it up as one. If it's going to behave for me, it is. Excellent. There you go, straight onto the serving board. Ribeye. Let's put him on the edge like that. Let's pull our asparagus off. Oh, they're hot. Put him up over the side like this. Beetroot relish. Let's put a nice hunk of beetroot relish just on the side so we can eat there with our steak. Fresh herbs straight from the garden. And there you go. A beautiful cold cooked ribeye. Pumpkin, blue cheese, pear, asparagus, beetroot relish. Bevy is going to have a bevy and a ribeye. Catch you later. Guys, we're back in the Food to Eat mobile. I'm taking you out bush. Now, I grew up in the bush. It's an amazing place. I'm going to go for a little bit of a forage. I want to see what we can find, but I want to take you to an amazing place not too far from where I live. That is the most amazing, beautiful environment.
You know, the Aussie bush really is quite a spectacular place. There's something about it. There's something about the smell. There's something about the colour. There's something about the energy which is like nowhere else on the planet. There's so many items of food within the Aussie bush that we just don't know about yet. That's right. A lot of that old culture that was never written down by the Aboriginal people has just vanished. But slowly, we're starting to discover it in mainstream Australian cuisine, and it is absolutely spectacular.
I'm taking you to a pretty special place right near where I live now. I'm currently in the riverbed of the Lutadurg River. So I've just come out of a drought here in Australia. This riverbed is actually dry. There's no water coming from that hill way up over there. So what it gives us the unique opportunity to do is to get into places along this riverbed that ordinarily we wouldn't be able to get because of the water flow, and see little bits of plants and really unique fauna and flora native around here that we can potentially eat. It's fantastic stuff. Let's get going.
It's what really excites me about this environment. You look at the texture, you look at the light, you look at those things that can entice you. Look at that fantastic wild blackberries growing wild. We've got peppercorns, wild fennel. It is just amazing. Now, as you walk along such a place like this, you can smell it, you can feel it, it jumps out at you. It is just spectacular. So I'm hiking about an hour straight up the guts of this dry river. I'm investigating everything and anything that we can potentially use in cooking our next dish. There's been a little bit of rain, it's a little bit moist underfoot. We're being careful, but we're also experiencing everything that this unique place has to offer. Can you believe it? 10 minutes from my house is this awesome, fantastic, natural place full of food that is quite and utterly spectacular Aussie.
So this little beautiful grove that I've just walked in is pretty special. Now, these trees here, that's called a wattle tree. It's in the acacia family. So this is a black wattle, and we're about 1 month away from it flowering. Now, this is actually a tree that we can cook with. It's quite amazing. It's actually the Australian national flower. These beautiful yellow buds that come up everywhere. So in about 1 month's time, this stunning black wattle grove in the middle of the riverbed will just be a glow of bright yellow. It's an amazing plant. They actually do seed pods, and you can break those seed pods open and eat the seeds. I'm going to cook some kangaroo shortly that's going to use wattle seeds. Stunning stuff. I'm going to get my kangaroo. Hang on. Oh, kangaroo. Now, because we're out in the bush, I've pre-prepared my kangaroo. I'll put him in a little bouncy bag. I've got my olive oil already in there. Now I'm going to dress him. Okay. Open him up. In my kangaroo now, some native ingredients. I'm not going to use salt and pepper. And you're probably going, salt and pepper? He's not using salt and pepper. He's gone mad. Well, I kind of have gone mad. This is a native Aussie product called saltbush. And this actually grows native all along the coastline. And it's got a really kind of salty, chaffy kind of flavour, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put that in. That's going to be our salt. There we go. We're going to crack him into our bag. And here, you remember I was talking about the wattle seed? That's some ground up wattle seed. I'm going to put that in there. That's got a really earthy flavour to it too. Let's do that. Okay. Into our little bag of fun. We're going to call it our roux pouch. Okay, we're going to mix him around like this. Now I've got my pan sitting on here. She's really nice and hot. Okay. Got our roux pouch. We want to really get all that flavour of the saltbush. We want to get the solid flavour of the wattle on. Okay, here we go. Now what you've got to remember, because we're out in the bush, we want to take that bag back with us. Okay, here's our roux. Look at this. It's the most amazing red meat. And you can see there's very, very little sinew in that. Very, very little. Now, the trick when you're cooking kangaroo meat is you want to do it to a medium rare. No more, no more. Because there's not a lot of fat content in there, it actually makes it go really rubbery really quickly. So medium rare, that's it. You can see all the flavour is over here. Let's get in a really hot pan, go. Oh yeah. Now, we're literally going to let that go. We're probably going to give that about 4 minutes each side's maximum, then we'll flip him over. Beautiful roux. We're going to give him another 4 minutes on that side and she'll be raring to go. Let's put him on this board. We're going to sit him there and we'll let him rest for a good 5 to 6 minutes, just so all those juices settle down a bit, so the flavour gets good, and we can dress our plate. Our roux's been sitting for a good 5 or 6 minutes. She's nice and relaxed, the meat's going, woo, I'm ready to be eaten. Fantastic, that's exactly what we want. We want to get our fantastic knife, we want to cut that and then let it rest, because some juice naturally is going to come out of this roux, but that's all good. So, all right, we want to go at some nice angles. I'll pull it away and look at that stunning colour in there. That's exactly how you want to eat kangaroo. Beautiful. That is magical. I'm going to try it. It's stunning, beautiful piece of roux. Oh, it's great. I mean, the wattle seed has this really kind of nuttiness to it. It's a real natural nuttiness. The roux has got a slight gamey. It's kind of a little bit reminiscent of a venison, something like that, but nowhere near as strong. It's soft, and if you cook it exactly like this beautiful pinkness, it is just beautiful. It's juicy and it's really flavoursome. Do yourself a favour, you've got to have some kangaroo. Let's dress this plate. All right, we're time to dress. I've got this beautiful slate. I actually found this in the riverbed. It's a beautiful natural slate that comes from this beautiful Lerderderg River, which we're going to wash and we're going to put back into place once we've finished cooking on it. Okay, let's dress this plate. Let's make it look really sexy. Let's make it look really colourful, and let's make it go boom. That's exactly what we want. Let's get some roux. Let's place that roux in the centre like this. We really want a stunning restaurant quality dish out in the bush. That's what we're after. Let's put a little bit of roux here. Let's put a little bit of roux here. A little bit of our wattle seed again. Bring back that flavour of that bush back to it. Back on top of the roux, just a little bit on top. A little bit on top down there. That's lovely. And here's a little bit of saltbush. We're going to bring that flavour back, and it's bright green. So you can imagine this line of bright green that flicks along here. There we go, lovely. So not only has that got that saltiness, and that brings it to the roux, it actually creates a beautiful garnish along our line as well. It's really important that we have some nice greens, get some nice health. I've got the superhero of vegetables here, Brussels sprouts. You know, these are the most amazing things, the vegetable with the most amount of nutrients in the world. That's right. All right, I'm going to have him raw, makes him even better. I want to literally grate a little pile, keep him fresh. Some nice ribbons of Brussels sprout. This is my littlest boy's favourite meal in the world. He will literally eat a bowl of Brussels sprouts just like that. Okay, here we go. Brussels sprouts here. That's awesome. And we'll do a couple little bits around so we get a good flavour. Brussels sprout. Love it. I've got some bloody dock. Now bloody dock is another edible herb. Grows to about 1 metre. Put it in a shaded area in your garden. I've just planted one at home. I raided some little baby leaves. So we're going to use that. Put some bloody dock here. Bloody dock. That's a fantastic name, isn't it? Bloody dock. It's great. Okay, they like that. I love it. Rosemary flowers, which are just coming into season. Let's put them around. Just sprinkle them. It's going to look like a bit of garden on the plate. It's going to give this roux some real respect, and that's really what we're trying to do. A couple of pine nuts, all right? A little bit of crunch. We just want to put a bit here, a little bit there, a couple of pine nuts. That's pretty awesome. From my garden, Now you've probably heard of saltbush. Samphire is another name for it. It grows native along the coastline again, kind of like saltbush does. I've actually got the rock samphire, which will grow sort of naturally in this kind of riverbed environment. So I'm just going to put a bit here. And again, it's got a saltiness. So those little balls there, when you eat them, and a beautiful burst of flavour. And here's another one just here. I got some little lemon verbena, again from my garden. It's going to give a bit of a lemon zing to it. There we go, beautiful. And we can't be complete without some little flowers. I love my flowers. Little viola here. Another little viola. Lovely. Couple of borage flowers. Beautiful, which brings back a little cucumbery taste. Lovely. And I think I've got another viola. Yeah, that's a pretty viola. Look at that one. She's looking beautiful. I think this is probably one of the best ways you could serve kangaroo in its natural environment. I want a little bit of acidity to go with the Brussels sprouts and all those flowers, and just pick it up. It's just going to lift it out from the plate. All right, a couple little drops just around the side. Look at that. Couple little dribbles, couple little dribbles, couple little dollops. That's all we need. It's just enough so we can get a nice flavour to it. Yeah. There you go. That's it. Brilliant. Kangaroo, cooked in its native environment. Stunning. I'm getting into this.